Right now, as you are watching this video, there are new driving rules that have already come into force across the United Kingdom. And the majority of drivers on British roads today do not know about all of them. We are not talking about minor technicalities buried in a government consultation document. We are talking about changes that affect what happens when you sit behind the wheel without a seatbelt. What happens when you renew your driving license over 65? And what happens to the cost of every single tank of petrol or diesel you fill up from this point forward? The DVLA and the DVSA have moved, the law has changed, and if you are still driving the way you drove last year, you may already be driving illegally or exposing yourself to fines and penalty points you had no idea were coming. 3 rules, real consequences, and the clock is already running. This video covers every single thing you need to know to make sure you are still legal on UK roads today. Welcome to How to Get a UK Driving License, Step by Step. This channel is dedicated to giving every driver and every learner in the United Kingdom the clear, up-to-date, accurate information they need to get licensed, stay legal, and understand every rule that applies to them on British roads. Whether you are preparing for your theory test, waiting for your practical, recently passed, or a fully experienced driver who simply wants to stay on top of the law, this is the channel for you. If you are not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button right now and turn on your notifications because the rules in this country are changing faster than most people realize, and we make sure you never get caught out. Now let us get into the 3 biggest driving law changes that are already in effect or coming into force this year, and what every driver needs to do about them right now. The first rule change is one that has been talked about for years, but is now moving from proposal to real enforcement reality, and it targets something that millions of British drivers have been getting away with for decades: the seatbelt. Right now, if a police officer catches you driving without a seatbelt, the penalty is a fine. Up to £500 in the most serious cases, but typically around £100 if you pay promptly. And here's the part that most drivers do not realize. Until now, not wearing a seatbelt did not put a single penalty point on your license. None. You could be caught 10 times without a seatbelt and still have a clean license. That is about to change in the most significant way. The government has confirmed that new penalties for seatbelt offenses are being introduced as part of the wider road safety overhaul, and the proposed change, which has been backed by road safety bodies, confirmed in government consultations, and is already being rolled out in enforcement guidance, adds 3 penalty points to your license on top of the existing fine. 3 points for a single seatbelt offense. That means if you are caught not wearing your belt just 4 times over the relevant period, you are looking at 12 points and automatic disqualification from driving. And this applies not only to you as the driver, but also to your responsibility for passengers in your vehicle. If your passenger is not wearing their seatbelt, the fine and the points land on you as the driver. Children in incorrect or absent child seats are your legal responsibility. Every person in that car is your legal responsibility. The AI-assisted roadside cameras that are being deployed across UK road networks in 2026 are specifically designed to detect seatbelt non-compliance, and police are being briefed to move away from warnings and toward immediate issuance of penalties. The era of getting a gentle word of advice and being let off is ending. The days of, "It's a short trip, I'll leave the belt off just this once," now carry a genuine, lasting consequence on your license. Buckle up every single time you move, not as a suggestion, as the law, with teeth behind it. The second rule, change that every driver in the United Kingdom must understand, affects you specifically if you are aged 65 or over, or if you have someone in your household or family who drives and falls into that age group. The DVLA has introduced a stricter medical declaration process for license renewals, and this is not a small administrative update. This is a fundamental change in how the government verifies that older drivers are fit to be on the road. For anyone who is not familiar with the existing system, Drivers in the UK age 70 and over are required to renew their driving license every 3 years. In the past, that renewal process has largely involved self-declaration. You filled in a form, you confirmed that you met the eyesight standard, you listed any medical conditions, and the DVLA issued your renewed license based primarily on what you told them. The system operated largely on trust. That is now changing. From 2026, drivers renewing their licenses are being asked far more detailed questions about medical conditions, including diabetes, epilepsy, heart conditions, and cognitive health. The vision requirement, the ability to read a standard number plate clearly from a distance of 20 meters with glasses or contact lenses if needed, is now being treated with significantly more rigor. Where before you could self-declare that your eyesight was fine, the enforcement of that standard is tightening. Police officers are being encouraged to carry out more roadside eyesight checks, and drivers who fail a roadside eyesight test can have their license revoked on the spot. The DVLA is under increasing pressure from road safety organizations to move toward mandatory formal eye tests as part of the renewal process for older drivers. And while a fully mandatory national eye test program has not yet been legislated, the consultation that is underway and the direction of government policy make clear that the current self-declaration model is being phased out. If you are 65 or over and you are due to renew your license, do not leave your eye health to chance. Book an eye test before your renewal. Make sure you can genuinely read a number plate from 20 meters with your current glasses or lenses. If you have any medical conditions that affect your fitness to drive, be aware that healthcare professionals are now under a proposed legal duty to report to the DVLA if they believe a patient is unfit to drive. This is a significant shift. Where previously a GP might advise a patient to stop driving but leave the decision to the individual, the new framework places a legal reporting obligation on the medical profession. Driving with a condition that you know affects your fitness and that has not been declared to the DVLA is not just dangerous. It can invalidate your insurance and expose you to serious legal liability in the event of an accident. The message for every driver over 65 is simple. Get your eyes tested, review your medical declarations honestly, and make sure your license renewal accurately reflects your current health. The third rule change in 2026 is one that affects every driver in the United Kingdom, regardless of age, regardless of what kind of vehicle you drive, and regardless of where in the country you live. And it hits you directly in the wallet every time you pull into a petrol station. The fuel duty freeze is ending. From September 2026, the government has confirmed that the 5 pence per liter reduction in fuel duty, which has been in place since 2011 and which the previous government kept in place year after year as a protection against the rising cost of living, is being phased out. That 5 pence per liter cut is gone. And what that means in practical terms is that every liter of petrol and diesel you buy from September 2026 onwards will cost more than it does today. For the average UK driver who fills up a standard family car roughly once or twice a week, this adds up to a meaningful increase in annual motoring costs. When you combine the fuel duty increase with the rise in vehicle excise duty on electric vehicles, the increase in the London congestion charge from £15 to £18 per day effective from January 2026, and the changes to company car tax benefit in kind rates, 2026 is shaping up to be one of the most expensive years to be a driver in the United Kingdom in recent memory. If you drive a company electric vehicle, the benefit in kind rate is rising from 3% to 4%. If you drive a high-emission company car, the rate could reach as high as 37%. And if your electric vehicle was purchased at a price above £40,000 and was registered from April 2025 onward, the expensive car supplement, an additional annual tax charge, now applies to your EV for the first time, although the threshold has been raised to £50,000 to protect many buyers from the immediate impact. There are also significant changes arriving for learner drivers that are already in force and that anyone currently taking lessons or preparing for their test needs to understand immediately. From the 12th of May 2026, it is no longer legal for a driving instructor to book a practical driving test on behalf of their pupil. Every learner driver must now book their own test independently. This change was introduced to break the unofficial market of test resellers and to make the booking system more transparent and accessible. If you are a learner, your instructor can no longer handle that booking for you. You need to do it yourself through the DVSA website. Additionally, once you have booked your test, you are allowed to change the appointment only twice. A third change means cancellation, a new booking, and starting from the back of the queue. The DVSA will also restrict any rescheduled test to a center in the same geographic area as the original booking. You cannot simply shift your test to a center with shorter waiting times in a different part of the country. These changes are live now. If you are a learner driver or a parent supporting a learner driver, make sure you are aware of these rules before you try to manage your test booking. And one final update that is already in force for 2026. The driving theory test now includes enhanced first aid content. The DVSA updated the theory test to include specific questions about cardiopulmonary resuscitation, CPR, and the use of automated external defibrillators, commonly known as AEDs. These questions are now part of the standard theory test paper, and if you are a learner sitting your theory test in 2026, you are expected to understand basic emergency response procedures. The DVSA updated its official study materials ahead of this change, so if you are using the official DVSA theory test resources, the content is already there for you to study. So let us bring everything together cleanly. In 2026, driving without a seatbelt now risks 3 penalty points on your license on top of the fine, and that applies to you for every passenger in your vehicle. Drivers renewing their licenses at 65 and over are facing stricter medical scrutiny, tighter eyesight enforcement, and a healthcare system that is moving toward mandatory reporting of unfit drivers. Fuel duty is rising from September as the 5 pence per liter freeze ends after 15 years. Learner drivers must book their own practical tests from May 12th and are limited to 2 appointment changes. And the theory test now includes CPR and AED questions as standard. Every single one of these changes is real, confirmed, and already affecting British drivers. Here at How to Get a UK Driving License. Step by step, keeping you informed and keeping you legal is exactly what we are here for. The rules are changing, and we are here to make sure you are always one step ahead of them. If this video helped you today, please give it a thumbs up right now. It genuinely helps more UK drivers find this channel and stay on the right side of the law. Drop any questions in the comments below, and we will answer them. Share this video with a driver or learner in your life who needs to know about these changes. And if you have not subscribed yet, do it right now because we have more updates coming on driving test changes, license rules, insurance changes, and everything else that affects drivers on UK roads. This is How to Get a UK Driving License, step by step. Stay informed, stay legal. See you in the next one.